Google. We use it every day to search and explore the internet, access emails, and many more services. The company resembles a lifestyle in the internet world. Even this video is uploaded to one of Google's products. We can't even imagine the internet with no Google, but the company does have some dark side to it. So let's discuss whether you can trust Google and Google's affiliation with the CIA in today's video of DiscoverZen. No matter what we browse, download, or stream on the internet, our data is recorded in the form of cookies. In the modern era, data is the new oil. Whoever controls the data is controlling the world. And Google is not the only company that is using your data for other purposes. But other companies are doing so as well. That is Facebook, Amazon, and most other websites. Apple recently stated that its new version of iOS contains features to control the data collection from different apps. Sure, that might help the control data flow in some cases, but this won't affect Google because their services are not only installed in your smartphone, but they are present even on the web. If you look around on the internet, you will find Google Ads are one of the most common services that websites use, and there are many different Google services used by websites to control user experiences, ultimately sending the data of users to the hands of Google. Now, let's dig deep into Google's connection with the CIA. CIA is the same organization that overthrows foreign governments and spies on leaders and citizens from human rights violations to drug trafficking. The CIA has always been shrouded in mystery and controversy. So what does Google have to do with the CIA? Well, many people may not realize this, but the CIA was directly involved in the founding of Google. Sergey Brin, a co-founder of Google, he reported to representatives of the US intelligence community of his progress. Not only this, but the application that became Google Earth originally had CIA investment. Meanwhile, a digital revolution was underway, something that transforms the world of data gathering and how we make sense of massive amounts of information. The intelligence community wanted to shape Silicon Valley's supercomputing efforts so that they would be both useful for military and defense purposes. Intelligence gathering may have been their expertise, but the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, and the National Security Agency, NSA, realized that their future was going to be shaped outside the government. If intelligence community wanted to conduct mass surveillance for national security purposes, it would require cooperation between the government and emerging supercomputing companies. To do this, they began reaching out to the scientists at American universities who were creating the supercomputing revolution. These scientists were developing ways to do what no one in NSA or the CIA could ever hope to do: gather huge amounts of data and make intelligent sense and predictions out of it. There was already a long history of collaboration between America's best scientists and the intelligence community, from the creation of an atomic bomb and satellite technology to take humans to the moon. In fact, the internet itself was created because of an intelligence effort. In the 1970s, the agency responsible for developing emerging technologies for military, intelligence, and national security purposes, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or DARPA, linked 4 supercomputers to handle massive data transfers. It handed the operations off to National Science Foundation, or NSF, a decade later, which proliferated the network across thousands of universities and eventually the public, thus creating the architecture of the World Wide Web. Now, let's get back to Google and the CIA connection. Google receives billions of searches and YouTube views every single day and has 1 billion active Gmail users, meaning it had access to most of the world's emails. Some analysts estimate that 25% of all internet traffic in North America goes through Google servers. Once in 2013, all Google servers, including Gmail, Drive, Maps, were down. Internet traffic fell by 40%. The company doesn't just run on the internet, it is the internet. Google has pioneered a whole new type of business transaction. Instead of paying for its service with money, people pay with their data. The purchase of Keyhole was a milestone for Google. The moment the company stopped being a purely consumer-facing internet company and began integrating with the US government. When Google bought Keyhole, it also acquired an In-Q-Tel executive named Rob Painter, who came with deep connections to the world of intelligence and military contracting, including US Special Operations, the CIA, and major defense firms. At Google, Rob Painter was placed in a new dedicated sales and lobby division called Google Federal, located in Reston, Virginia, a short drive from the CIA's headquarters in Langley. His job was to help Google grab a slice of the lucrative military intelligence contract market. Or as Painter described, evangelicalizing and implementing Google enterprise solutions for a host of users across the intelligence and defense communities. Google had closed a few previous deals with the intelligence agencies. In 2003, it scored a $2.1 million contract to outfit the National Security Agency with customized search solution that could scan and recognize millions of documents in 24 languages, including on-call tech support. In 2004, Google landed a search contract with the CIA. The value of this deal is not known, but the agency did ask for Google's permission to customize the CIA's internal Google search page by placing the CIA's seal in one of Google's logos. In 2006, Google went on a hiring spree, snapping up managers and salespeople from the Army, Air Force, CIA, Raytheon, and Lockheed Martin. This picked up its lobbying muscle and assembled a team of Democratic and Republican operations. Even after Google expanded into a multi-billion-dollar corporation, they had managed to maintain their nerdy, innocent, don't be evil image. In 2007, they partnered with Lockheed Martin to design a visual intelligence system for the NGA that displays U.S. military bases in Iraq and marked out Sunni and Shia neighborhoods in Baghdad. Important information for a region that had experienced a bloody sectarian insurgency, an ethnic cleansing campaign between two groups. In 2008, Google won a contract to run the servers and search technology that powered the CIA's Intellipedia, an intelligence database modeled after Wikipedia that was collaboratively edited by the NSA, CIA, FBI, and other federal agencies. Not long after that, Google contracted with the U.S. Army to equip 50,000 soldiers with a customized suit of mobile Google services. In 2010, as a sign of just how deeply Google has integrated with U.S. intelligence agencies, it won an exclusive, no-bid $27 million contract to provide the NGA with Geospatial Visualization services, effectively making the company the eyes of American defense and intelligence apparatus. By 2017, the federal government was spending $90 billion a year on information technology. It's a huge market, one in which Google seeks to maintain a strong presence. Here's a sign of how vital Google has become to the US government. In 2010, following a disastrous intrusion into the system by what the company believes was a group of Chinese government hackers, Google entered into a secret agreement with the NSA. According to officials who were privy on the details of Google's arrangements with the NSA, the company agreed to provide information about traffic on its networks in exchange for intelligence from the NSA about what it knew of foreign hackers. It was quid pro quo, information for information, and from the NSA's perspective, the information in exchange for protection. Google didn't just work with the intelligence and military agencies, but also sought to penetrate every level of society, including civilian federal agencies, cities, states, local police departments, emergency responders, hospitals, public schools, and all sorts of companies and nonprofits. In 2011, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the federal agency that researches weather and the environment, switched over to Google. In 2014, the city of Boston deployed Google to run the information infrastructure for its 76,000 employees, from police officers to teachers, and even migrated its old email to Google Cloud. The Forest Service and the Federal Highway Administration use Google Earth and Gmail. The mixing of military, police, government, public education, businesses, and consumer-facing systems, all funneled through Google, continues to raise alarms. Lawyers fret whether Gmail violates attorney-client privilege. What does Google do with the data that flows through its systems? What are Google's limits and restrictions? Are there any? In response to any of these questions, Google offers only vague and conflicting answers. Of course, this concern isn't restricted to Google. On a higher level, there is no real difference between Google's relationship with the US government and that of these of other companies. It is just a matter of degree to which the data is taken. The sheer breadth and scope of Google's technology make it just a perfect position for the rest of the commercial internet ecosystem. Now, let's discuss about another concern regarding Google. Why is there no major competition for Google search? Well, that sounds like a different case to investigate on DiscoverZen.